We got to talk about this Bitcoin price right now. Right now, there is so much hype in the crypto space about this BlackRock ETF, right? This article just came out 2 hours ago talking about how the projected price of Bitcoin, if this ETF gets approved, is going to be $54,000. The optimism is mounting as people are expecting this Bitcoin spot ETF to be approved. And just looking at this chart on the weekly time frame, you do not have to be a trained medical doctor, the best farmer in the world, or the president of the United States to just look at this chart and see, yes, this is bullish. Since November 2022, we have been making higher lows and higher highs. And when we take a look at this chart, we can see something else very, very significant. I have here all the volume that Bitcoin has traded going all the way back to the beginning of 2001. And you can see that during the bull market, we were trading in this sideways range where the fair price of Bitcoin was valued by the market between $30,000 and about $56,000. And the way volume theory works is if you establish a fair value zone within the market and the price loses that zone, but then comes back inside of that zone, the probabilities are more so that we will fill to the top of that fair value zone than that we will lose it once again. And so right now, as we look at the weekly market Cipher B, we're also seeing an invalidation of the bearish divergences that were forming last week. All right, the close of the weekly candle yesterday is now giving us a higher momentum wave on the weekly time frame market Cipher B, as well as the money flow continuing to get higher here on the weekly time frame. When we go down to the daily time frame, what are we seeing? Money flow is continuing to get thicker. So we have a bullish trend with bullish money flow and bullish momentum waves and bullish fundamentals. Now, personally for me, I am a technical trader, meaning I go based on what the charts are saying. I don't really listen to the news too much. This is how we trade in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. So last week, we were looking for that juicy long trade to come in around 35,159. And boom, look at that. We get the move right from 35,159. Or the short setup that we were looking for from around 37,400. Boom, we then take the juicy short setup. That is actually where we have rejected from right now over the weekend. I'm going to tell it to you how it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. When we look at this chart, obviously, we are in a very, very bullish uptrend. However, when we take a look at the daily time frame here, we can see that things are, in fact, getting very, very overextended. And here's what I mean by that. We have not created any support in this entire move to the upside. And not only that, but as we kind of consolidated in this bullish flag here that broke out, once again, we did not create any supports. And what this means is people are trailing their stop losses underneath these lows, all right? So if the price starts to get a move back down inside of the range and lose, let's say, $35,000, this could spark off a cascading effect of stop losses being hit. And if you're long and your stop loss gets hit, well, in order book, that's a sell order. So now all of a sudden you have this cascade of stop losses, boom, 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 boom. And then we have this one candle here, this massive inefficiency, where just as quickly as we came up, we could come down. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because a lot of people, when Bitcoin gets a big pump, they, especially if they're newer to cryptocurrency, they want to come in here and long Bitcoin on leverage, or they want to buy Bitcoin right now. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody what to do. But as a trader, as somebody who takes this seriously, we need to think to ourselves, entering into a trade right now is very, very foolish and risky. Why? Because our next resistance is about 27% above us, but our nearest support is about 22% below us. That means it's literally a 50-50 shot right now. If we put $100 on the trade, we're either going to make 50 or we're going to lose 50, right? The risk does not, the reward does not outweigh the risk. And so if we're looking for a good trade setup here, what we need to do is we need to wait for some kind of a pullback, understanding that right now, this is not really the healthiest market structure, right? We are asking for a retracement that's going to happen very, very quickly. And we also understand the whole concept of buy the rumor, sell the news, right? This ETF stuff is guaranteed to create some kind of volatility. And although, yes, the possibility of a very fast move up to $54,000 is possible, if we're here to make money and to do it in a way that's methodical and well thought out, then it's only responsible for us to wait for some kind of a good entry point before getting into a Bitcoin trade. So what are those entry points? Well, number one for me is coming down a little bit to this old range that we have formed right here. Now, first of all, when we take a look at the lower time frames, although the higher time frames are in fact very, very bullish, the lower time frames are giving us some warning signs. First of all, the 4-hour time frame right now As we continue to make higher highs, the market Cipher B is making lower lows with the momentum waves and the money flow. This medically is known as the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boob pattern, where as the price gets higher, Sam Bankman's man boobs are getting lower over time. And actually, if we just hyperimpose these over the chart here, we can clearly see that, yes, indeed, SBF, we thought he was getting 103 years in prison. He's really just giving us some bearish signs on the chart. Usually, when these things print on the chart, they do play out, and they historically have led to about a 20% move to the downside, which we've already established is our next major zone of support. So the first place I would personally look for a pullback before firing off a new swing trade or day trade. Obviously, scalp trades you can take all day, every day. I mean, literally, guys, just this morning. I mean, just scalping the low time frames this morning, guys, I've already booked $500 of profit on this one account. I booked about $1,600 on this other account. Just this morning, guys, I've taken a lot of scalp trades on Bitcoin, long and short. By the way, guys, if you do want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, I highly recommend you check out MEXC, because for scalping, it's great. The fees are so low. There's a link in the description and the pinned comment. Also, if you want to learn how to trade this way, check out jasoncaspertrading.com. You can join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where we every single day do multiple live streams. We give our trade setups, we give the levels. You will learn so much. Go ahead, click the link to join the Discord. If you want a step-by-step approach to how we actually trade, check out the educational content here on the website. Links in the description and the pinned comment if you're interested. This is where you will learn how to trade those low time frames and make those profits even if the price is not really doing anything significant. So the first real potential swing long trade I would look for is if we get a pullback to the zone of around $33.5 thousand, because this will then reestablish a base that we started to form right here in the end of October. It will basically stop out all the over-leveraged longs who have been trailing their stop losses, and then we can get a bounce from this area right here. Now, what do we want to see in order to get a bounce from that area? Well, we want to go down to lower term time frames, and we want to see, instead of the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish pattern, we want to see the right side up SBF bullish man boob pattern. All right, where basically Sam Bankman-Fried, he has turned his life around. He's had a lot of time to think about what he's done wrong, and we want to see, as the price comes down to that key zone of support, we want to see the man boobs getting higher over time. This is what we want to see as price is coming down to that box. If we don't see it there, that means we don't take a trade and we wait for lower. Now, if lower comes, and let's say we start to get a really, really big pullback, in my opinion, we are going to be gifted with something absolutely amazing that happens very, very rarely. Now that we are back inside of this fair value zone right here, a retest of around this 30,000, 28.5K zone is going to be a massive support resistance flip, where, in my opinion, if this bear market rally is going to continue, we can look to get into a very juicy long trade from what is now key support, and then we can look to trade this up to around that $50,000 zone, a 17-to-1 risk-reward ratio. All right, or if we're going to go for that $47,000 target, this is still an 11-to-1 risk-reward ratio, meaning the reward is 11 times more than the risk, as opposed to trading right now, where literally the reward and the risk are the exact same, right? If we're going to be taking trades where the risk and the reward are the same, it just takes one loss to wipe out all your gains. But if we patiently wait for opportunities where the reward is much more than the risk, well, we could literally take 5, 6, 7 losses in a row, and that final win is now going to put our account in profit, right? This is the power of waiting for those good risk to reward trade setups. So the bottom line right now is this: could Bitcoin right now just blast off to $47,000 or $55,000? Yes, of course it can. But there's no way to know for certain what is going to happen. And if we want to be responsible traders who actually take this seriously, then right now, this is not a good time to be longing Bitcoin. This is actually a good time to maybe be taking off some profits if you got into a long from a much lower price. But this is the time to be patient and wait for some kind of a pullback, some kind of an entry point, whether that be a move back down to retest the $35,000 zone, or if we're gifted with a bigger pullback down to the $31,000 to $30-ish thousand zone, these are then the places to be saying, you know what, this is a macro bullish environment in an uptrend of higher lows and higher highs. Once we make that higher low, that's going to be our ticket to potentially the trade of the year, in my opinion. So guys, that is it for today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. May God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed in many ways. And I will see everybody in the next video. Peace!